Our resident dating coach, V, is here with us again in the studio as we talk all about this. Hi, Coach V!
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Love Hack. So happy to be joining everybody on this space. Who finally feel so belong. Now, my loves, we have such an interesting topic.
Yes.
But I wanted to start with, did you guys know that men have biological clocks as well?
Yeah, I know that.
Diba? So
Yes.
Can you talk to us a little bit about, kasi I was so surprised by this. Because usually on the internet, it's always saying, oh, women expires when they're over 35.
Right.
But did you know that men expires over 40 as well?
Well, I actually did not know that. So,
diba?
Anne, let's expound.
You know, changes in the body, hormonal changes, those don't happen just to women alone. Men also experience that, especially those. I have friends who have a hard time conceiving, and sometimes it's not the girl who's the problem. So the men discover that, oh, okay, meron na rin parang problem with them. So they experience that as well, the biological clock.
But I think it's harder for girls, though, right? Like it's easier
I think it's
for men
earlier for girls.
It's earlier
Yeah, it's
talaga,
earlier for women, and then men, it comes at a later age. But it does happen.
does happen.
Yes, yes.
But you know what's so interesting, though? Like our generation, Pao, right? Like our parents, we both agreed and we both confirmed this earlier before the show that our parents had us young.
Yeah.
19, 20-ish.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Your parents
Yeah.
had you young.
My mom,
But
yeah.
now, like I guess the Gen Alphas and Gen Zs, they're, I think, waiting. Some of them aren't even getting married, having kids,
At all.
right? At
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
So I don't know where that shift is happening.
Yeah,
What do you
know,
guys think?
I mean, I'm just looking at it, and I think that when you look at, kasi career is such a priority for the
Career-driven,
younger
yeah.
people.
That's
I
true.
mean, like
Yeah.
studying really hard to get that good
Right.
job, and then after that, it
That's
goes into the next one, to the next one. When you say, when I mean the next one, so the next career step, and there are a lot of women and a lot of men out there who prioritize yung achievement financially speaking compared to the whole familial thing.
Which is a smarter goal, right? Like you work towards, I
No,
guess.
we say that's a smarter goal,
Because of our
but that's our
generation.
generation. That's our generation.
Well, yeah, that's just my opinion. But I also feel like back in the day, correct me if I'm wrong, the women were also just seen as homemakers. Whereas
Yeah,
now,
that's true. That's
I
true.
guess from how many generations before us, they're now working. We have careers. So that's why
Yeah.
women are now waiting to get married and having kids as well.
It's a generational thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was totally different during the time of our parents or grandparents. They had to marry early, and marrying was the ultimate goal
Right.
for women, right?
least, yes. At least especially for
Nung
the
time
boomers.
Na yun. Nung time na
Yes,
yun talaga.
yes, yes.
Parang kailangan, okay, tapos ka na mag-aral, so after that, you get married, and then you have children. That was the ultimate goal back then.
Absolutely.
Now it has totally changed. Yeah,
So-
people are more career-driven. That's so true,
Yeah.
right? And I think when you talk to some younger people, younger couples, they would say na, I don't want to get married kasi I've experienced parang a broken family. Diba? Yung parang they talk about their past experiences, their own family experiences, and so that, makes them reluctant to get into marriage
I agree.
as well. So may mga ganong factors.
Yeah, I agree with you, Anne, and maybe it helps for our listeners to differentiate what are the differences through generations. So
Yeah.
we're talking about boomers, we're talking about like looking at family and having children as the legacy. That is the core of like getting married, no? But a lot of people do not know that quest for career did not start with the millennials. It actually started with the Gen Y, the generation after the boomers. Ito yung lumaki sa tough love. So they started looking at nagiging pantay na yung need for family and then career. And then sumunod sa Gen Y is the millennials na ito na yung super very career-driven, and you see more women rising through the ranks. And then after the millennials, ito na yung Gen X, Gen Y. Ay, ano bang pinaka
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen
Wherein-
Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
Wala kang Gen Alpha.
Wala.
Oh, they're coming. Yeah.
So
Wala pa,
the
bata
recent generation, sila yung parang they don't even know if they want to have children or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Diba?
Pero
Isn't it
coach,
amazing?
ito, according to the Commission of Population Development, ito from 1993, cohabitation was at 5% of those who prefer mga live-in setup cohabitation. Pero in 2022, 19% na.
Right.
I mean,
It's a
like some
big
people
jump.
think that marriage is not necessary.
Absolutely.
Diba? I mean, like when you take a look at that type of relationship siguro, I mean, like, can people compare that still to the whole marriage and the whole family, or is that in your experience working with some couples, especially younger ones?
Yeah.
Do you feel na yan talaga yung hanap nila, yung companionship rather than the partnership of marriage?
Yes. So I believe that as human beings, we want that companionship and partnership without the legal liability. But what we've seen is the driving force for cohabitation primarily is because of economic reason.
Yeah.
Mas tipid when you are sharing a rent with somebody else than
Yeah.
paying for it alone. But also, they're thinking about mas expensive, especially with the Philippines without divorce, to, pay through the process of paghihiwalay, then wag na muna tayo magpakasal.
Yeah.
Would you say this would being conservative before and now people are being more open-minded, this would have attributed to that jump from 5% to 19%?
Yes. Basically, this data, yung 5 to 19%, is just a side effect of the choices that, of course, the older generations were doing. So we become more aware, we become
Yeah.
more careful, and
Yeah.
with the millennials, meron na tayong mga gentle parenting, mental health. Before, wala namang ganyan eh.
Yeah, wala.
Wala masyado. So it's just kumbaga, it's an effect of more conscious choices, conscious family making, and conscious family, kumbaga, children raising.
Yeah, let's go on to another piece of data here kasi apart from the preference of a live-in setup, the marriage count has also fallen throughout the years. Let's start off first in 2022, nasa 449,000 marriages dito sa Pilipinas. 2023, sharp decline to 414,000, and then of course 2024, 320,000.
Yeah, that's a big drop.
Literally
That's a lot.
more than
Yeah.
100,000
Yeah.
since 2022. I mean, there could be a lot of factors with it. When maybe the cost of the wedding is like, because we're talking a lot about financials, diba?
Right.
Yes,
Especially those who
economic
prioritize
reasons.
yung finances. Pero when you take a look at that, is that bad for business actually na bumababa yung marriage cost, marriage count natin year per year? Or is it like everyone just has a new preference on what the ideal setup is?
Yeah. So if you ask me, like, is it bad for business? I think it's good for the workforce because delaying marriage, you have more time
Yeah,
to
that's
focus on
true.
career.
Yes.
But I think that it's gonna be bad in terms of, family raising, because if you have children out of marriage, not only the emotional toll, but also you have like legal, yung mga
Yeah, legal
records sa
implications
school.
also,
It's
right.
so
Yes, that's true.
complicated. So
It
good
is.
for business, but for children may not be good.
Do you
If it's
see
outside
this
marriage.
continuing, Coach V? Because as we're looking, right, it's going down
It's
and
going
down and down.
down,
Do you
yeah.
see this going down even more in the future, or do you see it somehow changing?
So in the Philippines, unfortunately, I believe it's only gonna go down because look at the trends in not only in Western countries, but also in other Asian
Asian
countries,
countries,
yeah.
Japan, Korea. They are paying people to get married and have children.
yes.
And now more than ever, the need for matchmakers like us is becoming more prominent because they want people to get married, have
Yeah,
families.
yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? Like, kayo, like, personally, is that something, like, do you feel like marriage is something that's gonna be helpful in the long run, or is it just part of the formalities?
I think if and when I actually get to the point of marriage, right? If I get paid to do it,
See?
sobrang bonus yun, okay? Sobrang bonus. But,
You wanna get paid?
no, but I get
Oh
paid to
my
get married.
God.
Yan yung ginagawa sa Korea sa Japan, like you mentioned.
Diba in some countries nga, they give you money when you have
Incentivize
kids?
it.
But
Yeah,
but
they do.
that's because the
Yes.
population's also dropping.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it
the
is.
population in
You're right.
Japan and Korea in particular. I
Yeah.
think the examples given. We need to get more solid data on this. But then the population's getting older
Yeah.
in general, right?
yes.
Pero dito sa Pilipinas, the fertility rate's also falling. Back in 2017, the fertility rate was around 2.7%. 2022 at 1.9%. Now, I think we're a very long way from reversing yung sharp rise of population natin from year to year. But I mean, like this slowing things down, I don't think it's gonna bite us. Maybe in 5-10 years, I don't think it's gonna get
Because we
back
have a
at
lot
us.
of population
But
still.
it might be different sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Agree. And
Oh my gosh.
Is it-
Because we're running out of time. Pero pwede talaga itong podcast.
Oh,
Oo,
that's so true.
But then, okay, Mo, let's look at this first. Do you feel that this generation thing that we have right now, our generation, sorry, Anne.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Anne.
it's
Kasal ka na eh.
And please us also. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go.
I mean, like,
The
do
millennials.
you feel that this is going to continue on to Gen Alpha?
I feel like it
Yeah.
will continue on because I also feel with like the new technologies, right? With like you can freeze your eggs and all that. Women are opting to wait, right? Because we have that option and we can have kids later if we plan for it. So I
Yeah.
think that's the key word moving forward. If women plan to have kids later, they really have to, do all of that
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Like you
Yes.
can't just be like, okay, I'll have kids at 40 and you don't plan ahead because it's harder to do it
Because
then
you might
without
be able
that
to have
backup.
Yeah.
a kid later on in your life already
Right.
because of
So,
technology.
Because of technology. So that's another key
Ooh,
player.
that's interesting. That's
and
super
and
interesting.
I agree with you. Data even shows that children who are born to older parents are much smarter too. So it's not that bad to have children later on in life as long as you can still have children.
I don't know how to feel about that. My parents had me when they were 19. Ang bata nila.
Don't worry, ako din. So
Oh
wala
my
tayo
gosh.
doon.
Surprise to the world.
I had my child, 33, 34.
Oh, so matalino yung anak
She
mo.
must
Yeah.
be very
Yeah,
She is
intelligent.
we were
very
at a
smart.
disadvantage. girls.
Yeah.
So how do you see the
Unfortunately.
trend? We're the same.
Yeah.
We're like the same age. Still no kids. Still single.
All right.
Civilly.
But we gotta wrap things up there.
Yes.
Coach V, maraming salamat.
Thank
That was
you,
super
Coach
interesting.
V.
I love that. And hopefully we can have you again soon.
Okay, thank you everybody.